The pace of the late Ming dynasty has been skyrocketing these days. To be honest, I originally didn't want to get involved. After all, no one specifically reached out to me, and I don't do commentary or critique videos. But why did I make this video? It's because, after those two flashes, a green background with red text of Xia Siyuan's work somehow involved my favorite game producer, Hideo Kojima. Some people say Kojima next door loves to put his name on things, so why is it okay for Kojima but not for Xia Siyuan? Trying to shift blame elsewhere, distract and deflect. As a diehard fan of Kojima who achieved the top 0.1% platinum in Death Stranding 2, I have to speak up. Indeed, Hideo Kojima can be said to be the game producer who loves to put his name in his works the most. Except for his debut work, Metal Gear, every piece supervised by Kojima starts with his name. Sometimes once, sometimes multiple times, sometimes spinning and jumping, repeated over and over. In Metal Gear Solid 5, it's even more over the top. You have to see his name every time you start a mission. So some people find it off-putting, thinking he's being too showy, wondering if he's trying to create a fan culture. Although I personally don't understand the connection between naming and fandom, anyone with normal vision can see the obvious difference between Xia Siyuan and Hideo Kojima's actions. Putting only one's name without even a studio logo before or after it might truly be a first in gaming history, based on my limited experience. Hideo Kojima, however, never only puts his own name. His approach is more like old movies, placing a staff list at the beginning. Since 1988's Snatcher, Kojima began experimenting with cinematic storytelling. The game starts gradually like an old movie, with creators' names presented in a way that blends highly with the visual ambiance. As the director, Hideo Kojima's name will certainly appear in the most prominent position. As previously mentioned, how many times does Hideo Kojima's name appear in Metal Gear Solid 5? Names like Hiroshi Matsumura, Kenzo Matsuka, Yuji Korekado, and Kanezo Shiraishi also appear equally often. Kojima never hogs the glory for himself. You can't just find him annoying because you only recognize Hideo Kojima. As the saying goes, a person's name is like a tree's shadow. Another saying goes, the taller the tree, the more it catches the wind. When you see the largest tree on the prairie, having faced the wind for nearly 30 years yet still standing strong and growing better, you should realize its trunk is sturdier and roots deeper than you could imagine. In 1987, Kojima pioneered stealth gameplay focused on avoiding combat, encouraging players to complete the game through stealth rather than violence, creating the stealth game genre. In 1988, Metal Gear Solid was the first to use fully real-time rendered cutscenes, combining three-dimensional visuals with cinematic storytelling using mature camera techniques, and was hailed by IGN as a masterpiece ahead of its time. In 2004, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater first integrated stealth gameplay with a dynamic environment, and its cinematic storytelling reached perfection. The entire game feels like an interactive spy action blockbuster, achieving the pinnacle of both gameplay and narrative experience. The 2014 PT created extreme psychological pressure with an endlessly looping corridor, imitated and honored by many horror games. It reached the eternal throne of the horror game world with just one demo. The 2015 Metal Gear Solid 5th, The Phantom Pain, even as an unfinished product, received perfect scores from countless media outlets. Its open-world stealth gameplay remains unparalleled, even after 10 years. Its optimization level is excellent, running steadily at 60 frames per second, even on the old PS4. After leaving Konami, it took only 4 years to build a studio from scratch and complete a A-to-A masterpiece. Death Stranding's project management capabilities can only be described as insane. Before Death Stranding, who could have imagined that delivering packages could become a game mechanic, captivating countless players, including myself, with addictive deliveries? It is precisely such a solid and extensive track record that has turned Hideo Kojima's name into a golden brand. When you see the words Hideo Kojima game at the start of a game, you can be sure the game's optimization is impeccable, the difficulty is just right, and while the content may not resonate with everyone, it is undoubtedly of top quality. Then let's stray a bit. Why did Japan like to have star producers back in the day? It's because in the 80s and 90s, game development teams were generally small, allowing core producers to directly oversee the entire process from concept to execution, deeply involved in planning, art, music, programming, and other stages to ensure the game met certain quality standards. If the game succeeded, the producer could naturally become a living brand. Becoming a testament to game quality greatly benefits the promotion and marketing of subsequent works. However, after entering the PlayStation 3 era, game development size and complexity increased exponentially, making it difficult for a single producer to manage all the intricate modules as before, requiring reliance on specialized division of labor. At this point, if a powerful producer insists on meddling, it can lead to amateurs guiding experts, negatively affecting the game's quality. On the flip side, fame can build you up, but it can also tear you down. Anyone can make mistakes. But if someone tied to an IP makes a mistake, the consequences are beyond what they alone can bear. Take Hideki Kamiya, for example. Because he's so outspoken, and always criticizes others, a lot of people's dislike for him spilled over into his games, so no matter how good they are, they refuse to buy them. Right? What's that saying again? If it really affects the work, who can you blame? Only when a producer's skills and character are outstanding can the star producer approach continue without backlash. Moreover, sometimes those star producers aren't truly capable. They've just intentionally or unintentionally focused all the team's glory on themselves. Like a full moon, it seems bright but is merely reflecting others' light. For example, Keiji Inafune, the father of Mega Man, and Tomonobu Itagaki, creator of Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive, were huge stars while at their companies, always in front of the camera sharing endless ideas and philosophies. Once they left their original studios and started their own ventures, they immediately flopped and disappeared. But truly capable producers can be like the sun, radiating their own light and heat, relying on their skills and connections, even without favorable conditions. They can make a comeback and start anew, producing high-quality works that meet their players' expectations. For example, Hideo Kojima, after leaving Konami, and also some from our country. Forget it, I won't mention it, afraid of overpraising them. But you surely know who I'm talking about. So wanting to be a star producer and hog the spotlight is fine, but the prerequisite is having solid character. having solid character isn't enough. One must also withstand the test of time and the people. You have to realize before Starfield, Todd was firmly sitting on the throne as America's top star producer with an outstanding reputation. But Starfield significantly tarnished his reputation. An interview made countless fans turn away, some even became critics, and doubted his direction in The Elder Scrolls 6. The remarkable thing about Hideo Kojima is that in 30 years he has never produced a truly bad work. The only unfinished piece became a Venus de Milo due to unavoidable circumstances. What's even more remarkable is that as someone who constantly tweets and is always active in front of cameras, he's never given anyone any real ammunition to criticize him in all these decades. There's nothing substantial against him online. The closest thing to a controversy was when he was mistakenly identified as the assassin of Shinzo Abe in 2022. What does this indicate? It shows that he really knows how to handle situations. He might joke around normally, but when it comes to serious matters he knows exactly what to say and what not to say. So, as the saying goes, you need to be strong to succeed. Being bad at esports is a fundamental flaw, and it's the same for game production. If Mingmo is truly outstanding in quality and incredibly fun, he could directly win the 2025 Game of the Year. Then the next game would only serve as proof of their confidence. Even a green background with red text could be a striking announcement of the amazing experience awaiting players. Everything could be right. But if you rush to build a structure without a solid foundation and the sign is blown askew, don't be surprised if people avoid it in the future.